who's the publisher, she got in touch with me. I think she liked the way I wrote, and I have a certain way of writing. It comes from a space of humor and wit. And so she said, I want to, let's collaborate. I was like, I would love to, but there's a certain way I like to approach things. And so I shared one chapter, which is the first chapter of the book, and it's got to do with how I felt like a 13 or a 14-year-old, and about my body and about everything else. I think she had a good laugh, and she was in splits, and she was like, this is amazing, but you have many more such incidents. I was like, my life is full of such anecdotes, so don't you worry. And that's when I started writing, and I realized that every phase of my life there has been something very significant, and and my take towards it is sort of humorous, and so they became the 12 commandments for me. So that's how the 12 commandments of being a woman comes into picture. I just feel that there are not enough stories being told about women, either when it comes to books or cinema. And I feel when there's such limited stories about them, you sort of get into this replication mode, and it sort of becomes a stereotype. So every woman becomes a stereotype of each other, and I really function from the perspective. I'm as a person, I'm gravitated more towards women-oriented stories, and even when it comes to protagonists, I write as well in terms of for screenplays and movies, and I think I've used writing as a tool across different mediums. And something which really resonates and I'm gravitated towards is about women and stories around them. Having a bath. Honestly, it was that. I go into this writing frenzy, and then I just make it into my ritual and my routine, and then I don't want anything disturbing me, and so food and everything is on the table. And so having a bath is a struggle, because that's what I do then towards evening. Otherwise, I am a sort of a person who would just get up and just have a bath. I think a big part of my life, I've always thought about what people think, and I had this pretentious side to me. And then when I shed that off, I realized how liberating it is, how beautiful it is to just say what you feel like, to express and be who you are. And I just got too comfortable with that feeling, and so then I don't want to go anywhere else, but stay in the most organic space of my life. Love, you should definitely have love for yourself to begin with. That doesn't mean that you go on to become a narcissist. Sex with whomever you want to, must. So marriage, up to you. It's a very individual choice. Some people live without being married, and that's absolutely fine, and that's an experience too. So it's not goes on to say that those people who experience marriage or motherhood, that's a wholesome experience. That's a different experience, and not having kids, or probably not getting married, is also a different experience. And dating, you must date, and I wish for my own self that I had dated more than one person. It's always good to get some experience, some more experience, but I ended up marrying the one person that I dated. So थोड़े कम anecdotes हैं बताने को. There is a lot of companionship, but there's a lot of banter as well. We do enjoy our individual space. We give a lot of space to each other, and we respect the opinions that we have. So we don't impose ourselves on each other, and it's a fun, healthy relationship. I think every person has their own set of challenges in life, whether that's in the form of health or financial problems, or relationship problems. For as long as we are human beings, we are bound to face challenges in life. And so my perspective towards whatever challenge life throws is to probably use it as a springboard and jump on it, and turn into an opportunity to become a better version of yourself. And I guess the suffering becomes less, because even in the most despair of the times, if you have the intention of adding value, you still feel significant and you don't feel defeated. I think it's equally important as your physical well-being, and the two are absolutely interrelated. Nothing exists in isolation. These are both environments within our body, and we really need to respect. I'm someone who has battled sadness and anxiety, if I'm allowed to say so, depression. And the best possible thing that anybody could do is to have a dialogue with someone, open up to someone, to that one person, have medical intervention. It's very important to treat it, to have a proper dialogue around it, and to figure out the best solution for yourself. And that can only happen when an environment is conducive to have a dialogue exchange, to have a conversation. So it's very, very important to remove the taboo and stigma surrounding it. I just recently saw Churels. It's a Pakistani show about women, and then there's this lovely show that I have seen. It's called Glow. It's about wrestlers, American wrestlers in the 70s. Somehow I've realized all these, except Father, of course, all the other series are to do with women. And like I said, I'm naturally gravitated towards them and issues around them. And it's such an unexplored space, it's such a beautiful space that, given the situation that this is in, you have subliminally addressed a lot of issues. So yeah, these are the things that I've really enjoyed seeing lately. And I've just read a book. It's pretty very nice. It's by my favorite author. If it comes to books, if that's what you're asking me, then it's called Three Daughters of Eve, and that's by Arif Shafak, and she's one of my favorite authors. So yeah, I've been watching a whole lot of stuff, and this is some of my favorite stuff.